So this is an old school vape review of the Smok DC Tank V1. I bought this from myvaporstore.com for $3. It originally sold for around $13, and replacement Cartomizers were about $11 for a pack of 5. These tanks came out somewhere around late 2011, and people loved these tanks back in the day, so let's see how they stand up in 2017. This is how it came shipped to me. It was actually in a Ziploc baggie, and then this, so no box. I don't know if that's how they were when they first came out. So here's the tank, and I'm not really sure what this is yet, this ring. This is a Carto tank, which means it uses Cartomizers. It's a 6 mil capacity. It comes in blue, red, silver, and black. It's about 19.6 millimeters in diameter, and that's with my measurements. And it's a glass tank wrapped in aluminum. So it looks like a pretty nice tank, actually. You can see the glass tank in there, the aluminum casing. Here's a window to see your juice levels. Has a clear plastic drip tip, and there's the top of the Cartomizer right there. The Cartomizer just pops right out. And this is just one solid unit. None of this comes apart. There's some O-rings, it looks like, in there on both sides. One ring to hold in the Cartomizer, one ring to hold in the drip tip. So there's a bit of a indentation there so that you can put the Cartomizer, because you can see the Cartomizer has a bit of a flanged edge there. So that's where the Cartomizer sits in there. And that's about it. There's not a whole lot to this tank. Alright, so here's the Cartomizer. So airflow comes in through the bottom of the Cartomizer, and if you turn it, you'll see there's a small tiny hole there. That's where the juice wicks into the cotton. I believe it's cotton. And that's it, just that one tiny hole there. And if you look in there, you can see the cotton. And to put it in, you just slide it right in. Gets caught a little bit. And then you can see it doesn't fit exactly there. You just turn it until it reaches the spot and then sits in there. I guess that's their locking mechanism. I still don't know what this piece is for. And the drip tip. Old school, just clear plastic drip tip, something that you'd get for free at a vape convention. All right, let's try and fill this up. So I think it would be too hard to fill this up with a bottle. I suppose you could, but it might be a little bit messy. So I'm gonna use a syringe. And that seems to be the best way to do this, a tank like this, because you have to get into off to the side here, right in between the tank and the Cartomizer. So syringe seems like the best way to do it. So I'm gonna use some Halo Vapor Company's Cherry Bakewell, because it has a bit of a harsher throat hit, but a very good flavor. And I think it's a thinner, like a higher PG, so it should work better in a tank like this. So this is a 6 mil tank, so it can hold pretty much this whole bottle. Looks like, no, about half the bottle. We'll put in 3 mils. We'll fill it. No, we'll do 4 mils. You just push it up. So that wasn't too difficult. A lot harder than it is to fill tanks these days, though. Okay, so these tanks, back in those days, people usually used vape pens, so that's what I'm going to use for this one. But I do want to measure the resistance before I do that, and you know, vape pens can't do that. So I am going to put it on a device real quick just to see what it ohms out to, because these are very high resistance atomizers. 1.53 ohms. So that's what it looks like on the Predator 228. Not too bad, really. So let's put it on a vape pen. And of course, with a vape pen, you need one of those beauty rings. Hide those threads. Makes it look a little bit better. Looks better on other vape pens, not so much this one. Forget what this one is, the Aspire CFVV. To get e-juice into the wick, usually what you do is, actually I should have done that before screwing it on. You plug the hole on the bottom of the tank and then just suck in, so that juice sucks into that atomizer until you hear a little bit of gurgling. And that's how you know that there's e-juice in there. Yeah, I don't know. It's about what I expected. It's not a lot of vapor. Decent flavor, I suppose. I have to take a pretty long drag to get a good hit. Let's try pushing this. I don't know what the wattage, what this can really handle. I'm gonna start pretty low. Let's do 10 watts. That might be too high. You never know with these old tanks. Okay, 9 is okay. Let's try 11. I think 11, around, I don't know, 8 to 11 or 12 is probably about where you want to be. Anything more than that and you're probably going to get a dry hit and start to burn it. because it does feel a little hot at that point. It actually seems to be wicking pretty well too. So the Smok DCT isn't that bad. It produces decent vapor, it looks nice, and the flavor isn't all that bad either. The flavor isn't great, but it's not terrible. It is difficult to fill though, which I think is a big con. Honestly, the only reason to get this would be to experience what vapors used in the early days of vaping. If you're looking for a low wattage tank with much better flavor, go get something like the Nautilus Mini. But if you're interested in this tank, you can still pick it up for really cheap. I paid $3 from myvaporstore.com, and they actually still sell replacement Cartomizers to go with it, which are only about $1 for a pack of 5.